What's up, guys? It's gonna be another episode of Just Think Stupid. We are in a hotel room. Okay, it's working.
Why is it working?
I was trying to switch it to
The
you.
words of confidence.
Yeah, man, this is a fully functional setup. We got a nice little view behind us. We're in Sydney, Nebraska, the most beautiful town in America.
Obviously the most beautiful because we were born here. Well, weren't born, but we lived our childhood here.
Were you born in Nebraska?
No,
Sydney?
Scottsbluff.
Both of us were born in Scottsbluff?
I was born in Scottsbluff, yep.
Weird. I think I remember that, actually.
Yeah, because
a little bit.
since it was May 13th, Friday the 13th, literally, all of the hospitals weren't accepting me here, I guess, in Sydney. So we went to Scottsbluff,
Yeah.
where they accepted, to fucking transfer a baby or C-section, and then I was born.
Ta-da! Yeah, I think I remember that day, honestly, because I was with Grandma, I think, at Pops.
I don't know
And,
why they
I'm
didn't.
pretty sure I was there.
I don't know why they wouldn't accept me here. Maybe it's just superstition. Probably.
Probably. Yeah, it doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah.
They deliver babies here, right?
They
I
should.
mean, I imagine they would.
They should. If they don't, it's not a town then. A town needs a way to fucking deliver babies so it can grow its populace.
You'd hope, but it's Sydney. I don't know, man.
I think they do.
Yeah,
They have a big
sure.
hospital here.
Yeah, they
The
do have a
new one.
hospital. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
That is true.
the other one would have been fine too, but
Oh, for sure. But as you can see, guys, we are sunburnt. We look weird.
yeah.
It's just like the lighting on this camera with my burn makes
How
it
do
look really weird.
Does mine look really red?
Yours looks red, but that just the aesthetic on your camera is way different than mine.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I like that aesthetic better. Fish today
Oh,
with our grandpa. It was a very good time. We went to Lake McConaughey, and we got a sunburn.
2 sunburns.
2 sunburns. 3 sunburns. He got sunburned too.
Yeah, I got sunburn on my hand. Can you see it?
Yeah, they can see a little red spot.
Yeah, it's this whole area. It looks way worse in real life. It's not that bad though.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's not blistering yet. So
No, I don't think it will.
that's a positive.
I don't think it will.
Yet.
My sunburns never blister.
Really?
Yeah, I've never gotten one that bad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Though something that I find kind of weird though about people
Huh.
is that I've always heard people say they never forget where you came from, but I could easily forget about this town. Like if I didn't have family here, I would forget about this town instantly. I would never come here again. I'm just saying, I would never come here again because
Yeah, I mean, okay, I think that. Yeah, I'd say the same about this town too. I think that's just for more people who, I guess, so you can be humbled. Like if you have it too good later in your life and at the beginning and start of it, you were living in pretty crappy conditions or really poor or whatever, that if you remember where you came from, you become humbled. But I don't become humbled by thinking I came from a crappy little Nebraska town that has a bunch of meth heads in it.
I mean I guess you would be humbled.
Kinda.
Technically, you would.
Kinda. Well, yeah, because we came from a bunch of people who don't think at all and just get. I don't know. It's not good living here.
It's a weird vibe, man. It's a weird vibe. It's depressing.
Yeah.
But I think, yeah, I get what you're saying. That does make sense why they say that. But I think the better thing to do is to have like consistent people when you go up, when you become rich, because then they're the ones who humble you because they don't treat you differently because of
100%.
your wealth, because they want something from you.
Yeah. So I think that's but I don't know. I mean, maybe in 10, 20 years I'll visit here for a video or something. But that's the only other time I'd come back unless that I still have family here. But in 10, 20 years I probably won't.
Oh yeah, no, I'd probably come back just to look at it.
Yeah,
like 30 years.
Yeah, like 10, 20 years for me, I would just, like, if I'm still doing my YouTube channel, I'd just record a video of me going back to my hometown, see how crappy, like, how much crappier it looks, see if there's more meth heads walking around the street. I don't know. That's probably going to be a thing. That's probably going to happen.
Oh, for sure.
It's a dying town. It was once booming with population because of Cabela's, and then Cabela's got bought out, and now it's a dead town. It's just a retirement town, and for people who want to live a very cheap existence and continue to do meth.
Yeah, just whatever drugs they can get a hold of.
Alcohol, meth, maybe weed sometimes.
That's all there is to do here, man. It was weird. Like when we were checking into this hotel, I saw a kid I used to know from high school, And he got fatter, man. He just got fatter, and I grew a beard. It was just a weird interaction because we were both looking at each other trying to figure out if we how we knew each other because we both kind of felt a sense of familiarity. It's like, I know who this person is, but I don't know who this person is.
Yeah, exactly.
It was a weird interaction.
I could tell just by you guys looking into each other's eyes.
It was weird, man.
Like, you look both confused and puzzled.
I was. I didn't even know who he was at first. I think
Yeah.
he probably knew who I was, maybe.
Like, pretty much instantly.
Yeah.
You just have facial hair now.
Yeah.
That's about it. You might be a little more muscular, but...
No, probably not. I'm probably skinnier than I was then, probably.
Oh, gotcha.
I got skinny boys. What are you looking at?
Popcorn ceiling.
Yeah. You always have those. They had a lot of... That was always a thing in Sydney, huh?
Yeah,
The popcorn ceiling. I don't really see that as often. I don't like it, though.
No, I don't know the exact reason why, but I think the reason why was it was causing some health concern, so they don't use popcorn ceilings as much anymore.
What's it made out of?
I don't know, man. I figure it's as good as mine. That's what I heard, but I don't know what exactly that means.
Yeah, me neither.
So
it makes sense that it wouldn't be good for you, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But yeah, it's just been weird coming back here. Every time I come here, though, it just like it gets me like halfway depressed.
Well, yeah, yesterday I was really depressed.
Oh, me too. We went to the gym too. Got a little workout in this tiny little gym.
Yeah.
It was cool.
That was a cute little squat rat.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Rat.
Yeah, rat. I meant rack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but that was nice, get a little workout in, but it's just...
Yeah.
It's just interesting watching people, too. That's always what I like to do whenever I go somewhere at all, especially new places, is I just want to look at the people. See what they're probably thinking, see what they're like.
Yeah, in Nebraska versus Colorado where we live now, it's much lower quality people.
Yeah,
You'd get what we mean if you're, like, from California or Colorado or somewhere like that has big cities, and if you live in a big city or around it, you'd get what I mean if you came to Sidney, Nebraska. You just go into the Walmart, the one main store there. Go into the Walmart, see how people interact, see what fucking expressions they have on their face. They're not bright people, man. They're not. Yeah, exactly like that. It's pretty much like that. I mean, it's varying.
Mouth breathers.
Yeah, it's varying degrees of their openness for their mouth. Like it's like something like, it's just varying degrees.
That's true. That's true. One time, I remember one of the last times we came, I saw this guy that looked like he was trying to be tough. He thought he was tough, and he was just walking just like that. But it was fucking ridiculous, man. And he looked like he was like mean mugging everybody, just looking around. Just pissed off.
Was he in your high school or?
No, he's just some guy. I don't know who the fuck he was, but he's just wandering into. He was going into Walmart and he was just walking like that.
He looked
and I was staring at. Yeah, he had to be methy. I'm sure he was a meth head.
Yeah, that's the only.
I'm sure he.
There's so many guys like that in Nebraska. There's so many. Like they think
100%.
they're these like tough, like the toughest motherfuckers to ever live, and they're still like working some job that just pays for his meth addiction, and then some dumpy girl he fucks for a while and then leaves her, and then it feels unsatisfied, but doesn't even know why he feels unsatisfied, or doesn't even know he feels unsatisfied in the first place because it rots his brain. All the meth and alcohol.
100%.
Yeah.
Imagine dating here though, like the quality of women, the quality, or if you're, just imagine dating here.
I'm not considered attractive normally, but we're probably the two best looking guys around here.
Around there, yeah, definitely.
Maybe there's like one or two guys that are better looking than us here, but not really.
It's rare, and like the women,
it's rarer. It's rarer for women. I
haven't seen a single attractive woman since we've been here. Not a single one.
Me neither.
Not like it's ridiculous because you go to Colorado, like if you live in a place that has a big city near it or whatever, you'll see attractive women everywhere you go. Everywhere. But here,
no.
Go to the gym, you still don't see attractive women. What's going on?
I know, yeah, right? That's the bad thing. There was like old little kids, and then there was some maybe 20, 30-year-olds that were like maybe, they were okay. And then there's just old people. And then in between, it's just, there's no actually attractive people around here.
And it's a thing, too. I think that attractiveness goes along with IQ. Like it's generally correlated with that. And
it's just quality.
Like just talking to people, yeah, it's true. But just talking to people, you can tell that there's some motherfuckers that have like just the dumbest people alive, man.
Yeah, this is where we came from.
Yeah, I don't know.
This hotel room sums it up pretty well, to be honest, because we got a nice look out to like on the little store area of Sydney, which is kind of elevated. That's near the Walmart, and then you can go down into the town, which is in this crater. What surrounds is just flat land, and when you look out our window, you can see an Arby's right there, and you see Runza there. We see a fucking Farfield Hotel, and we can see some of the Walmart's parking lot. It's a great, beautiful view. I'm telling you. Like, we'll have to show you sometime when it's daytime. But
yeah, right behind me, this is a beautiful view, guys.
Yeah,
as you can see,
it's
all
see
those
concrete.
Little lights and stuff. It's beautiful, man.
Yeah.
This is inspiring. I think this is how great art is created, is by gazing outside of your hotel room when you're in Sydney, Nebraska.
Yeah, exactly. Gazing onto the menu, the lit up display of the menu for Arby's, and you can somewhat make out what it says, but you can't really.
Yeah.
That's the beauty in life. That's where it's like it's the balance of chaos, the unknown, and then orderly, the known.
Yep, 100%. I agree completely.
Yep.
I've been thinking about this though today. Is just creativity and really what makes people creative, and it's like anything is mostly your environment. I think if you have a routine, it's really hard to be creative. It's almost impossible to have a creative mind if you just eat, sleep, shit, work. You just do the same thing day after day, night after night, and yeah, that's why. I don't know, man. I want to make short films.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of ideas right now that I could use. I have ideas for a little bit. Probably 10 videos or so.
Okay.
But I know at some point I need to get more experience just so I can create more. Because what I want is just something that expresses, like, just different ways of looking at life.
Oh, definitely.
Because it's really easy, to look at life in a way that's not romantic at all. That's just, black and white, whatever. It's like you know how relationships should work.
Yeah.
It's like this is concrete. This isn't optimal, basically. Kind of like business-minded people do.
Yeah, definitely.
And I don't necessarily want to fall into that way of thinking.
Well, yeah, I don't want to either. I mean, that's what makes life interesting, is the romanticism of being a human, of living this kind of seemingly fecal yet beautiful small existence. Yeah, or short existence more so. And yeah, I don't like those kind of people who think, like, that's a human thing. We like to know exactly what's happening. Otherwise, it's scary. So people fall into these habits that's just, I know everything and you don't.
Yeah.
They fall into those kind of things, and it really fucking pisses me off. Like, everything I try to approach with an open mind. Like, I'll tell you the things I know already, or come into it that are with the things I know already. But I'm open to learning things, and I will always leave that possibility that I don't know. Because that's what people do. They remove the complete possibility of, oh, I could be wrong about this. And then when they're wrong about it, they get mad.
Oh,
they get really fucking mad.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, no, I agree completely. And it's easy just to fall behind or just follow a person like that. If, like most people do, you just want comfort.
Yeah.
That's why people like Andrew Tate do well, people like Fresh and Fit or Sneeko, because they have like this very concrete worldview, and then everything that doesn't go within it is considered wrong. And so yeah, it's so easy to do, to fall into that line of thinking.
Oh yeah.
And I've been thinking about this too with like the streaming that I've been doing and like how I want it to be.
Yeah.
And that is literally the opposite of art. It's just like it's gonna follow a very specific formula. I'm gonna become more articulate. I'm gonna become faster speaking. I'm gonna get better at making jokes, but that's not art because it's nothing new. It's nothing original.
Yeah, I mean.
But it still serves a purpose, and I'm still gonna do it. But
I mean, all the great comedians that are out there now, they probably didn't. I mean, of course, there's stand-up, and that's a great thing to do. And a 5-minute stand-up, or however long you do, or however long it is just spouting out random shit until it comes out funny.
yeah,
But,
exactly. I want to do stand-up eventually.
Yeah, I will too. I just want to get better at speaking in general.
Yeah.
But I mean, with comedians, like their first sets were probably very, very rote out, and they just rehearsed the same joke over and over and over again until it's the most boring thing in the world to the comedian.
Yeah.
And then when they told everyone else, it's a new idea to them. So I mean, it depends on how you look at it. It depends on how you look at it from the artists, the quote unquote artists, perspective, to see how they view their own creativity.
Yeah.
Just because if they rehearsed it a bunch of times, or they just think it's boring because it came from them, and then the observers' perspectives, they could think that they could think something that the artist thinks is boring and bland and just stupid.
That's
the
true.
Observers could just think that's the most beautiful thing in the world.
That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get your point.
So I mean, it's hard to define where art and then just
100%.
structure ends and begins.
Oh, 100%.
Because those are the two main things that are pushing against one another in human existence, you'd say. Because it's chaos and then orderly. And then it goes hand in hand with chaos and orderly is creativity and then just the plan logical.
That's true.
Yeah.
We need to maximize profits. We need to make as much money
Yeah.
as humanly possible no matter
Exactly.
what. This is the only thing that matters.
Yeah.
So we're not going to push the boundaries. And that's really what like a lot of companies are nowadays. Like iPhone, something that started as art. Like this is art.
Yeah.
Like this original
You
idea.
have your light on.
This original idea is art. That looks crazy. This was art. But
Yeah.
now it's just, we're just going to add a couple things so it's a little different so people can justify spending money on the newest fucking thing.
Exactly.
Because
I mean,
people are materialistic.
And that's entirely to do with the CEO change, since I think Stephen Jobs was the one that created Apple. I think.
Yeah, I think so.
He died, I believe, and then the
Did
news.
he die?
I think he died.
Oh, well, why did I never hear about it?
I think it was 2011 or something like that. He died, but
That's weird.
he died. New CEO took over. He has a completely different vision for the company. He wants to maximize profits, which maximizing profits.
He did die.
In what year?
2011.
Hey, I was right.
Cool.
And then
I have no idea.
but the new CEO has a completely different vision for the company. Like Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs, yeah.
Okay, Steve Jobs. I don't know.
Same thing.
Steve Jobs kind of wanted to fuck around with the product still and create new things, like the iPod, or the Apple iPod, or whatever those things are called.
Yeah.
Pretty much a phone. That came out, and that did way worse than the iPhone ever did. So the new CEO kind of took that lesson and kind of learned from it to maximize profit instead of creating new things.
Yeah.
He just kept creating the same thing over and over again. Now we're on to our Apple iPhone 14. Soon it's going to be the 15 probably.
Oh.
It's probably going to be 16, 17, 20, 18, 19, 20.
Yeah,
and
of
then
course.
all the way to 50. I don't fucking know.
Until maybe they get outcompeted.
Until maybe they get outcompeted, or until maybe they think that, oh, maybe we should remodel it, or we should rebrand it a little bit. But yeah, no, I completely agree. iPhones are fucking art. However, you can't. It's too good to be true, really, because with the batteries, it's from cobalt mines. And where does most of the world's cobalt come from? From the Congo, specifically the Congo that they work slaves to do, and pay them pretty much nothing, and give them no actual tools or anything to actually make the job easier. It's just big pits with thousands of people in it. That's literally what it is.
100%.
Like they don't. Some may have like some old shovels or pickaxes, but most of them have sticks, rocks, and maybe their hands. I don't know. It sounds
mothers with babies on their back just mining.
Yeah, it's pretty
What a
fucked up.
picture.
It's pretty fucked up, but it's a real thing. So don't feel too good about the situation you're in. All this comes with a price.
100%. And this is a good segue into something that's just funny. Is just like the woke mindset in general.
Yeah.
I've been talking about this a lot, but it's the fact that people make up like their oppression, being oppressed, when there's actually problems in the world such as that we could do something to try to solve, but we'd rather just feel like victims ourselves. That way we have some sort of superiority over others, really moral superiority.
Yeah, definitely.
That's
in a
what
sense.
it is.
The amount of hypocrisy a first world government, like a first world country, brings, the amount of hypocrisy, convenience, and not having to worry about, oh, am I going to die tomorrow, or oh, I'm going to die tonight? How am I going to live through the night? brains. It's fucking insane because these woke mindset people think that they're going into these certain little nooks and crannies of maybe some causes that seem plausible enough for them to buy into it and try to help people that way. Instead, they're actually doing the opposite. And the funny thing is, while they're focused on that and calling other people horrible for doing the same thing they're doing, essentially, they themselves are profiting or benefiting from some other form of oppression that our countries, fucking countries, companies, and our government itself are putting on other groups of people.
Yeah.
So they feel as if they're being oppressed and helping similar people that they feel that are being oppressed too, while they, in indirect extension, because they are buying the product and keep pushing the machine on this cog, are indirectly oppressing others.
Oh yeah, 100%.
The amount of hypocrisy is fucking delightful and funny and just comical, like comedy gold in general for anyone who's smart enough to actually be a little bit observant. Like a little bit. You just need to be a little tiny bit. That's all.
Do you think they know about that though? Do you think they even have the information?
No, I get what you mean.
Because it's not being pushed out to them.
No.
All this woke nonsense is being pushed out to them because they're always the weird kid, and they wanted to find something that they could fit in. They could get some brownie points off of libs of TikTok and like the woke people on there and stuff.
Yeah.
And the point is, we all do it. We all actively support slave labor indirectly.
Oh yeah, we
we all do it. I got a fucking iPhone. Of course I do. These things are nice. It's hard not to buy one.
Yeah.
But just the fact that these people look at the world through the lens of oppressee and oppressor, straight white male or whatever.
Yeah.
When we're all oppressors because we live in a first world country where we purchase material comforts and conveniences.
Yeah, it is. That's a fair point, yeah. They probably don't even have the slightest clue that's happening, and I don't want to consider it. It's like, even if you... I don't know. I mean, if you just said the simple line of, your problems don't really matter in comparison to actual problems the world faces, and then you list those problems, they're going to call you a bigot and yell you off the fucking stage. They're not going to listen to you. It's just because you're undermining their problems and saying that there's much worse problems.
That's true.
Which removes the importance to what they've been doing, which removes the value to themselves, which is really fucking selfish.
Oh, 100%.
So, I mean, you can't really do much about it. You can inform people who are open to those kind of ideas and are open to trying to help real problems. There's not many of us. There's not very many, but... And yeah, also another fair point. We are all benefiting from it. I'm benefiting from it. I have a big old fucking computer. You got a nice little laptop. We both have iPhones. That's how Cobalt makes fucking batteries really reliable and efficient.
Oh, 100%.
Like, everything that we use that has a battery in it is from Cobalt.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Basically.
So, yeah. But I'm also not in a position to help.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
The point is, like, the ideology overall is just...
Well, very flawed.
Dishonest.
Yeah.
It's dishonest, and it's not like they're purposely being dishonest necessarily. No. They probably just don't know, but people need problems so that they can solve them, so that they can feel that they're moving towards something.
Yeah.
And so most people don't really want to do anything hard, and so they just make their brain their enemy. So I have depression, I'm they, them, I'm transgender, whatever.
Yeah.
Most of the time. It's that. They just want a problem so that they can solve it simply by changing their gender.
I like how Theo Vaughn put it. We were at one point in human history, our brains are, of course, goal-oriented. We are at one point focusing on the real problem is to live every day and to hunt whenever we needed or to get shelter whenever we needed to survive. That was the main goal. Is to survive. You can't think about anything else. There's no real mental illness because you're all focusing on one thing, which is to survive, and when you do that, you have to focus on surviving the next day.
Yeah.
And now we're in a point of time in the world, in a country, that we don't have to focus on surviving, and now our brain has nothing to do, which will cause depression and unaccomplishment. And people don't know what to do with that. So instead of turning our problem makers, our brains, to the outside world, we turned it within ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, 100%. Weird world, man. It's just weird the shit we have access to also because of, like, this, Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
This shit makes you feel weird. It makes you feel kind of good. I don't generally drink soda, but, you know, I've been having it these last 2 days. We're in Nebraska. I'm going to fucking quit caffeine and Kratom after this.
Kratom.
I think that's how you say it.
Yeah, I think you told me that's how you say it.
Allegedly. I don't know if it's actually true. I might just be full of shit. But
yeah.
But just the fact that we can get this, which isn't... Coca-Cola doesn't naturally occur in nature.
Oh, God, no.
That you don't just find this, you know, hanging from some sort of tree. You know, it's not a fruit.
Yeah.
And so it's just weird the shit we consume. And the technology we have access to.
Well, yeah, I mean...
The chemistry that took to make this.
An interesting thought I had today is, like, if, say, there was some AI overlord type presence or, like, some species that were way, way smarter than some inferior beings like us that have no idea what the fuck's going on because it's so far beyond our understanding, what would be the point of keeping us around? And I just had a realization today. The point might be is to test certain chemicals that have been never tested, and they don't want to test it on themselves, or they are incapable of testing it on themselves since they are not biological beings. So instead, they keep this nice little pocket of very intellectually kind of null, like very not smart beings comparatively, and biological beings to see what these chemicals would do to them over time, and maybe they have a similar anatomy and physiology if they are biological. That's kind of a thought I had today.
Yeah, makes sense.
Which is kind of weird to me, but I mean, yeah, that's one reason why you would want to keep around general people, is to do experiments on them. Just saying.
Yeah,
just
I
saying.
mean, that is true. Just like how the Nazis kept the Jews around just so they could poke them with stuff and see what it does.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we've been doing that for a while.
The AI are the next Nazis, guys.
Oh, fuck, they might be.
They 100% are. Except they're not just going to genocide one kind of person. They're going to genocide all of us eventually.
Because all of us, as far as it's concerned, it's all of us are the same, which we are.
Yeah, pretty much.
We are. There might be some differences, but we're all the fucking same species. I don't care about race. I don't care where you fucking came from. I don't care what you think. Just talk to me. We can talk things out. I'm interested because you have a different perspective of mine. And the most interesting perspectives are ones that I cannot at all relate to. Like, I can't
100%.
at all. Like, no fiber of my being could fathom me ever thinking that way. You know, that's the most interesting.
Yeah, for sure. When we blow up, when this does well, we should get some blue-haired feminists on.
Fuck, that'd be...
Or maybe that.
Blue-haired feminists
just so they can argue with us.
Yeah, that, and then maybe some really racist motherfuckers, like some really racist backwoods white guys.
Well, we might not be able to do that.
Why?
We can do that on Rumble.
On Rumble, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
saying.
saying.
Not on YouTube.
No, not on YouTube. Just that'll be exclusive for Rumble. That'd be fucking funny.
We'll bring a black guy on too with the racist people.
Yeah, that would not be a good scene, I don't think.
Why not?
Like have
no, he'll be our friend though. He'll be like our friend.
Like we could have.
And we'll bring him on.
We could have the head dragon overlord, whatever the fuck the position is called in the Ku Klux Klan. On
head overlord.
Yeah, I don't dragon head overlord. It's some weird ass name. You gotta look it up. Okay. It's really weird.
Okay, I have no idea.
But have him on. And then some random black dude. See how that goes.
We'll moderate. We'll make sure it stays respectful.
Yeah, of course.
To whatever degree.
We'll probably be bigger than this KKK member.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
I don't think they're particularly like physical specimens.
Maybe some of them are. That'd be funny. Just a really jacked KKK member. Just
be
jacked, yoked.
I wonder if there
we'll get MMA fighter that's a KKK
There
member.
has to be one.
Yeah, probably.
There has to be one. It's hard for me to imagine.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is.
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Just went on to an interesting tangent.
Yeah.
It's been a pretty good podcast so far.
Yeah, I feel like that. Keep talking. I'm gonna get my Coke.
Alright. Yeah, guys, it's weird out here in Sydney, though. Yeah, last time I went here, I brought my ex-girlfriend, so it's kind of weird for that reason, too, because now there's memories with her tied to this town, so that makes it a little weird also. But, it's just weird walking around town and remembering everything that happened in certain places. Just driving around and being like, oh yeah, there used to be an ice skating ring here. Shit like that. Remember?
Ice skating ring here?
There was for like a little bit. It was.
I don't remember that at all.
It was around the time when it was like that. You know where the trail is, like under the bridge. It was around there somewhere.
Wait, really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was a long time ago. It wasn't around that long. I think it was only around for like a year, but.
Like, was it in a building or was it just a body of water that was frozen over?
I think it was like a fucking like thing that they made.
Oh, that's so weird.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
I don't remember that at all. I have no recollection of that. There's so many things I forgot from my childhood. Like, there's a good 3-4 years gap in my childhood that I just do not remember.
That's so weird. I mean, I've always
maybe I went through some trauma then. I don't know.
I mean, was it around the time
there's
where
some creepy dudes around here? I could have been touched. It could have been. I don't know.
Well, was it around the time where like Mom's family came? Was it in that time period? Because if it was then, that would make sense because you were young and.
Well, how old was
like,
I?
I was
7,
I
8?
was slightly traumatized when that first started happening.
Of course. And there's always creepy guys around though, like Suvilla.
Like John.
Yeah, like John, or like there's this teenage kid that was once trying to lure, and I kind of fell for it too. He got a big group of these kids my age, so like anyone from 6 to 10 at the time.
Yeah.
He's like a 16-year-old boy, 15, 16, and he got these big group of kids sitting around him, and he's like delegating jobs to each one of them. Like, it's going to be this company that we're going to do, and then we're all going to come inside of his house or in his room and do this. And then when Jesse and I went to his mom, and Jesse told him, she's like, what the fuck? And then she went over there and told him off. I don't think she called the cops or anything, but she like got really fucking mad, and I couldn't understand why.
She should have called the cops.
I couldn't understand why. And that same kid once, sorry, I'm ignoring your question a little bit, but the same kid once, I was walking home, I don't remember from when, I was alone, and I don't know if Mom was home either, I was in Sevilla. I was walking home down that main street that's there. I was here, he was across the street. He was matching my speed when I was walking, and I started running, he started running.
What
so I just
hell?
ran back to the house and locked myself in.
Okay, that is creepy.
No, I think he had something wrong with his brain and he wanted to touch little kids.
Yeah, I'd never had anything like that. Never. Nothing like that ever happened to me, man.
That's why I have the suspicion something could have happened, and I just blocked that out. That's why, but I can't say for sure. It's probably nothing.
So it was
happened.
when you were like a little kid.
Oh fuck yeah! It was like 5, 6, 7 years old, somewhere around there.
How old were you when the family came again?
Anywhere from 6 to 8.
That's 12. Oh,
probably 8 then. If you were 12, I was 8, 9.
Okay. Yeah, did you block out a lot of that time period? Or do you remember most of it?
Bits and pieces, because remember you told me that Melissa went crazy on the house multiple times, and I only remember the first time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yo, there's this... Yeah, no, it happened a lot. And there was this one time, too, where we thought that Melissa's ex-boyfriend was coming, and apparently it was like this little guy that was just like a crazy tweaker. And we thought that he knew about Tyler, the current boyfriend of Melissa.
That later beat her up.
Yeah, that beat her up later anyway, different story. But, so we thought he was coming to kill Tyler, and so we were like, me, you, and Katie, our other aunt, that's all like my age, anyway, we're by the window, and if we heard gunshots, we were going to jump out and run away.
Yep, don't remember that.
I don't remember that. I was scared as shit. I was like a little kid waiting to hear bullet shots.
Yeah, I don't remember that at all. I have no recollection.
I mean, that makes sense. That was a scary night, man. There's a lot of nights like that.
I was young as fuck.
Where we like go into the back of the fucking house.
Yeah. I mean, around that time, I started questioning if God existed, because Sydney is a predominantly white and Christian town. So I knew a lot about religion at the time. Because, it's like everyone talks about it at school and shit, because, they become little versions of their parents. But yeah, that's when I started questioning existence of God, and then soon after that, I just became an atheist.
Yeah.
I'm more agnostic now, but yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense.
But honestly, I think I blacked out before then.
Okay.
I mean, of course, like, if I had trauma at one point in my life, that means that maybe my brain overcompensated and blocked out some previous memories.
Could be.
But yeah, I think from ages probably 4 to 7.
Gotcha.
I don't remember at all.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That whole time period was weird, man, because I think I remember it pretty well.
Yeah.
But mainly what I do, because, like, I got so used, I think you did too, we got so used to, like, them flipping out, like, Melissa flipping out and, like, screaming and, like, throwing things around and be like, ah, and just whatever the fuck. Not a good impression at all, but...
No.
But that we would just play video games. I think both of us would just have headphones on, you know, playing video games. Or you'd be in front of the TV playing video games. It'd be loud.
Yeah.
You know, I would always have my earbuds in listening to whatever emo music I was listening to. And some fucking metal or some shit.
Yeah, I remember, like, honestly, probably from the time I stayed there, 6 months of the time I stayed there.
They only stayed there like 6 months.
Only? I thought it was like a year or two.
It was maybe a year, but it wasn't.
Because it felt
longer.
like a year or two to me.
It felt like 3 years to me, but it was like only like I think it might have only been like 6 months to a year or something between that. It was not longer than a year for sure.
I don't remember very much, unless it was a weird chick.
Yeah, it was a weird time, man.
It was a really weird time, man.
Fucking.
So yeah, today we went, as he mentioned, we went fishing with our grandfather, and we went to this lake. If any of y'all are from Nebraska. We went to this lake called Lake Ogallala, which is right next to Lake McConaughey, in, I guess, Ogallala town or city or something like that.
Yeah.
Which I did not know that was the city around there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I never knew that.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
I learned that this trip. But, yeah, Ogallala is a nice lake. I really like it, to be honest.
100%.
I wish we caught fish.
I mean, we kind of almost did. He almost kind of did.
Our grandfather almost caught a carp.
Yeah, First time I'd ever seen a carp. I didn't even know what they looked like.
Yeah, me neither.
Man, I've been fishing since I was a kid.
Yeah.
Since I was young, that was always like my thing. I like doing with Grandpa.
See, I like fishing a lot. I love the aesthetic. I love like just sitting there, enjoying nature, feeling the waves if you're on a dock, or just listening to the waves and seeing the whole orchestra of nature just being displayed right out in front of you. And all just the perfect order, pretty much. But because ecosystems are so fucking delicate
100%.
and like finely tuned. But the one thing I don't really like, I mean, okay, I like catching fish. It's exciting.
Yeah.
But imagine how fucking much pain that fish is in.
I don't care, man. It's just like hunting. It's just like fighting.
Hunting, at least it's over quicker. It depends on where you shoot the animal, but.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you're a good shot, it's over fast. Yeah.
Yeah, and then fucking fish. If we don't kill it, which often you don't, you put it in this like very small area of water, which will run out of oxygen eventually, and they'll just slowly suffocate. But just like when you're pulling them out of the water, I think about all those nerve endings in their fucking lips.
I mean, it doesn't feel
like
good.
It gets stuck in their gills sometimes. It's fucked up. It's barbaric in my opinion, but I love it.
It kind of is.
I love it.
But I've never even thought about it consciously. I've just been like, oh, it's a fish, you know. It probably doesn't like it.
No.
It doesn't look like it. Like, you know, the way it, like, you know, tries to get free, it probably doesn't like it. But,
yeah.
Like, you know, I don't care.
I mean, yeah, everything.
It doesn't bother me at all.
It doesn't bother me, really. It's just a thing that I don't like about it because it's pretty barbaric still. You have a line.
Yeah.
You have a line that's attached to this stick that you cast out with a sharp little pointy curved object at the end, which you put bait on, and then this fish is like, ooh, supper, bites it, and then there's this sharp fucking thing inside of it that catches their lips. It's like the metaphor with, or not the metaphor, but the thing that they tell kids at Halloween is to check your candy because there might be a razor blade in there.
Literally what we're doing to fish.
Yep.
There's a way. They should tell their kids that.
Yeah, there might be a fish hook in your candy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Don't go hunt. Be careful when you're out hunting for food.
So that's the only thing that kind of bothers me, but not really. I do like it. I want to go hunting eventually.
Me too.
I want to fucking get good at bow hunting.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Bow hunting.
To me, it's just because I watch Joe Rogan and he likes it. That's probably why I want to bow hunt. To be honest, that's probably why.
Is he your
because
idol?
There's no other. I don't know. I like the way he lives his life in a lot of ways, but.
Me too.
But Yeah, and okay. Here's another thing too, that I think about from time to time is.
Yeah.
So I like the thing that Joe Rogan does, where he's like, still jacked at like 50. And I want to be like that.
Oh, yeah.
I want to be active for like
Until
in
I die.
really good shape until I die.
Yeah.
And so I don't want to live that long. I want to live to like about 70, I think, because I think you could, jump on TRT and growth hormone after you have kids.
Yeah.
And live till about 70 if you take care of yourself. And
Yeah,
I think that's probably what I'll do.
I'm just playing it by ear. I'll live as long as I live. I'm not gonna like forcefully kill myself. Of course, you wouldn't like blow your brains out or anything.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Like,
I'm just
you would
saying
probably-
that drugs would probably kill me, like TRT and growth hormone. Probably would kill me
Oh,
faster.
you think
Because
okay.
it's not natural for a human being to be
No.
fucking jacked at 50.
No, it's not.
Like, that's not normal. That
That's
used to
fair.
never happen.
That's fair. So I'll probably die around you then, at the same time as you, because I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, I'm gonna stay like jacked when I'm 50.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get in shape now when I'm 17.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, god, human lives are so fucking short, to be honest.
I don't know. It seems long.
It seems long, yeah. No, don't get me wrong. It seems long, but like, if you think about it, a year has passed. If you live to 100, that's 1/100th of your life.
Yeah. Well, that's why you gotta do shit fast. I mean,
Yeah.
I think the reason people say life is short is because not a lot of things happen in their life. Because if you think about it, most people just
It's the
they
same
go to
thing.
their 9 to 5 day to day, and so the people that report feeling like they lived longer are the people that have more novel experiences. So
That's
they
true.
went on that
Just
fucking
more
trip they
experiences
wanted
in
to.
general.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There's more things that aren't just repetitive and boring and
That's true.
monotonous.
That's why I'm like, if kids ever find out at my school that I do YouTube and whatnot, that means I'm becoming a big enough YouTuber then anyway. But I don't really care because this is the career path that I want to, just solely based on like this relates heavily to interacting with other people, especially online.
Yeah.
And like seeing how they think and seeing how they argue and then trying to come to a resolution between both of us,
Yeah.
And that's why I want to get into the field of work of producing content, being a content producer on YouTube or Rumble or maybe Rumble and then an extension Patreon. We'll see what happens, but I want to make millions off of it because one, I really enjoy it, and two, that's how you gain a lot of experiences nowadays. Because like with normal jobs that you go to college for, or especially 9 to 5 jobs, not much really happens unless you're like a nuclear engineer in the military or some shit. Something really specific.
FBI agent or
Yeah, something really specific, and then you can't really tell anyone.
Yeah, it's true.
So yeah, that's my main goal in life, is just to talk to as many people as I can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. And I want to have more novel, like just interesting experiences, and that's half of the reason I want to fight.
Yeah.
Because obviously fighting is a scary thing to do. It's kind of a dumb thing to do, if you think about it, because you're going in a little space.
Yeah.
Where the other person trained to hurt you as bad as they possibly can.
Yeah.
You've also done. It's kind of a crazy thing to do, but I think that it'll be. There's a lot of lessons to learn through fighting.
Oh yeah.
And it's just an overall interesting thing to have done, and so I want to get pretty good at boxing, and then I think I want to do MMA at some point also.
Yeah, no, I completely understand. I want to do it primarily more so I am prepared in a situation if I do have to defend myself. And then if, like, it just depends on the situation, of course. Like, if they have a knife or something and I'm cornered, then I'm going to have to punch them and dodge them and then try to run away.
Yeah.
But I want to be strong enough and I want to be in a good enough shape and have the skills well enough to be able to defend myself whenever it needs to be, so I have the best chance as possible. I don't, okay, of course I'm going to spar eventually. And depending, I may fight 1 or 2 amateur fights eventually. But, Jesus Christ, but I don't think I'm going to get that into it. I don't think I'm going to try to become a professional or even, a frequent amateur.
Yeah,
Just
gotcha.
because it's I relate heavily to that point that it is an incredibly stupid thing to do. And I get the whole point of it, and I get what you can get from it, because pain and endurance and hardship means you learned a lesson and some more knowledge that you actually earn. But it is a stupid thing to punch each other into the head until one of you gets knocked to the ground.
I mean, it usually doesn't happen.
It doesn't, yeah, but still.
It does sometimes.
That's
but,
the goal, is
Yeah.
to punch each other as hard as you can into each other's faces.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, I love watching fights and whatnot, But I do see the funny aspect of the barbarian way we do things.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's also a instinct in men too.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Because I don't want to go to war. Like, I don't literally want to go to war.
No.
And so this is the closest thing to war that I can do. That I probably won't die doing.
Yeah, that's true.
Could happen. Who knows? Could die in there, but it's not very likely.
No, not at all. Let me turn this fucking heater off.
A lot safer than shooting people in a different country.
So we can talk about like what Nebraska's like more, because some people have never been there.
Yeah, describe it as you see it. I mean,
okay. The simplest way I could describe it is it's a bunch of flat land with cornfields and meth labs on top of it. That's the easiest way I could describe it.
It's kind of yellow like corn.
Yeah, like a lot of the state is yellow like corn, and then there's little gray specks of buildings which may or may not be meth labs. We don't know.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So that's the easiest way I can describe it. The more complex way of it is it's a bunch of plains, which are flat land, has a bunch of small ass towns speckled around the whole state with very little people living in it. And within those towns are very, very similar-minded people who knows one another around. I mean, depending on the size of the town, like Lincoln isn't like that because it's bigger. It's like 100,000 population or something.
I think it's a million.
Is it a million?
Uh-huh.
I don't know, but from the town we're from, it varies. The population varies from like 4,000 to 8,000. Right now, it's like 4,000, 5,000 people.
300,000 in Lincoln.
Okay, gotcha. So about the size of Denver, or a little bigger. But
I think it's smaller than Denver.
no, Denver's like 250.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but and all these people are very similar-minded because they're 711,000.
Yeah.
I thought it was 250.
No.
What? Maybe that's Parker. I'm thinking of Parker probably.
Yeah, probably.
But because they're so closely correlated with one another and predominantly white and very, very few minorities here. And
a few Mexicans.
Exactly. And closed-minded people all around, to be honest.
That's
That's the way of life, and people don't really think about things, and especially with phones and whatnot now. Man, life isn't interesting. The relationships you make here aren't interesting. The quality of women, this is going to sound misogynistic to me, but the quality of women is much, 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 much worse than the surrounding states.
Oh, 100%.
It is. Like a Colorado 7 in Nebraska would be a Nebraskan 10 or 11.
More than 10, bro.
You think it's like 12? 11 or 12?
Let's just say this. Like a Colorado 5 is like a... No, I'd say a 6 is a 10, probably.
Okay, so
like
maybe 11 or 12.
Like a 9.
So a 7 is 11 or 12
Yeah.
in Nebraska. And mind you, the women here are much, much worse looking than the men here. Like, I've seen some guys with really gross, dumpy looking chicks that are probably a 3 or 4. With guys that are 6, 7, probably could get a score of 7 or 8 in Colorado.
Yeah.
Could probably do that.
100%.
They're just the circumstances they've been put in. I mean, yeah. It's pretty depressing.
I mean, yeah, nothing interesting ever will happen here.
Yeah, and
there's just a place of insignificance.
It really is. I mean,
insignificant people.
There's some military bases speckled around here, and not a lot of people in these towns will ever do anything interesting, and most people in these towns are very stupid. There are exceptions, though, of course, to genetic variants that makes very smart people sometimes.
Every now and then.
But it's just like the whole state, and the state's vibe, mind you, is depressing. Well, at least Sydney's.
I think probably
the whole state.
I think it's basically all the same.
Because it's like everywhere we go in Nebraska so far, or I have been, feels around the same. But especially in Sydney, since it's a dying town, it's very depressing and sad, and it's like there's a sense of unaccomplishment in the air almost, and people aren't really striving towards a goal and just doing the same things over and over again, are invested so deeply into stupid things like football or some trivial tribal games, essentially, so they don't have to feel bad about their existence.
Yeah, well, it's just the definition of living vicariously through others, because every man exactly especially wants to feel some form of conquest to some degree, whether it's, getting jacked or, making a lot of money, or doing well in your career, in relationships or having a lot of women, whatever it is, every man wants
Yeah.
some version of that. One of those things.
Yeah.
Or they want to fight, or they want to play a sport.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, it's
No, I get what you mean. It's
but-
ingrained in us in our DNA.
Yeah, and so most people just watch it.
Yeah.
Instead of actually doing anything, and especially at a time like this, that's all people do. And a city is already bad enough. Like
Yeah.
most people are already boring enough and just a copy of a copy. But in a
In
town
Nebraska,
like this,
it's worse.
it's like that times 10, I'd say.
Yeah, no, 100%. Copy of a very poor copy, like a kind of a printer that's malfunctioned and only can use one shade of ink instead of 5.
Yeah.
That's like what it's like here. So you get a very colorful copy, put it through this printer once, and then it's a very much duller looking copy of just one color.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's what it
basically, yeah.
But
But in like Colorado, there's more variants.
yeah, there's more variants. Like instead of one color, there's
like
probably 10 colors. And then do you think in California there might be like 15, 20?
I don't know. I've not really been to Cali.
I mean, I have, but I haven't been there long enough to judge. But I'm maybe assuming so. We'll see. Eventually, we'll be there for long periods of time. But I was gonna say something. Oh yeah, like the atmosphere. Like even if you are a very gifted, bright individual who has unique ideas, and it's very hard to be in a place like Nebraska. It's like very hard to be creative in a place like Nebraska.
I don't know how you possibly could be.
I don't know. I don't know. Quite frankly, I don't know. But I think there probably are some who can kind of be, and through their parents and through the whole town that they're in, it kind of like the atmosphere sucks you in so much that it's like it rubs off on you. Like you don't have to try as hard in towns like this. You don't really have to succeed all that much to provide a living for yourself in a town like this. You can work at McDonald's for 5 years and probably get a house.
Yeah,
or do you
probably,
think
yeah.
less?
Yeah, I mean, I think 5.
5 years you can work at McDonald's here and then save up enough to afford a house. Like a 2-bedroom house maybe.
Oh, yeah.
But my point being, it kind of like the atmosphere rubs off on you and it gives you a worse environment to be able to grow and prosper.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
100%.
Yeah. It's like trying to grow a fungi or fungi in poor conditions, like with very little moisture.
100%.
And a lot of light.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, it's like that. So, yeah, it's not great.
No, not in the slightest.
And we're from there. I don't know why we are the way we are. I think that moving to Colorado early enough really fucking changed us. But I think we're also autistic.
Yeah, maybe a little. Maybe slightly.
Just slightly. We could be considered on the spectrum probably if we took a test.
Yeah, a lot of people could do.
No, I'm sure.
It's such a common thing. It's an overused term, in my opinion, like autism.
It is. I mean, just like anything.
Kanye's autistic too.
Anything with. He definitely
he's
is.
I might be a little bit autistic.
He said I'm slightly autistic.
I love
fucking.
I fucking love Kanye.
Jesus Christ! Who doesn't love Kanye? You're a fucking moron if you don't love Kanye.
He
Even though he says he loves Hitler.
He said some bad things.
Yeah.
He said some things that we don't like. Kanye's the creative genius, man. He's
fuck.
And that's like-
man, he's the most creative. He's like the best creative genius in our fucking history. Or one of the best.
Definitely in rap. I think he's the most.
Oh.
I think he's the best artist of all time in rap. I don't know. And his music transcends rap, in my opinion.
Oh,
it's bigger than rap is as a genre. And rap's a huge fucking genre.
There's another thing. I mean, since we're not fighting for our lives every day with different tribes and whatnot, people take. Oh Jesus! People, I keep burping. It's the Coca-Cola,
Yeah.
but no. But people take things so seriously. Like, since there isn't much going on in certain individuals' lives, which is most people in America, just the general person's life, they kind of take everything not with a grain of salt, because not much happens. And if anything out of the ordinary happens in their daily routine, I'm going to shit. I'm going to brush my teeth. I'm going to go to work to drink some coffee. It's just shit like that.
Yeah.
If anything happens out of the ordinary, they overreact because that's something that they're not used to. They're not desensitized to always expecting the unknown. So
100%.
they kind of treat it like, oh, we're at war.
Yeah, for sure.
They treat it like that. And then we get people like in the mix that are behind the woke mindset, and they pretty much value and support being mentally ill, which makes you even more mentally fragile. And then you say one thing out of line, and then they're just gonna try to fucking kill you with their very long and sharp boot. So
yeah, for
you
sure.
get what I mean?
Yeah,
So
100%.
people take things way too fucking seriously because we have nothing else to focus on.
Yeah, it's pretty funny, man. And I find it interesting how, like, literally the woke mindset is trying to make men more feminine.
Yeah.
And women more masculine. That seems to be one of the goals. It's like, they tell men, you know, it's okay to be weak, it's okay to be soft, it's okay to be a bitch, it's okay to be a pussy.
Yeah.
And
well,
and
it's
that's
not
actually
that,
virtuous.
It's not that it's okay to be that way. It's the way you have to be because it's toxic masculinity if you are mentally strong, physically tough, and stoic.
I don't understand. Like, do people like?
So
I saw the thing that but do people actually think that? Like,
I think so.
I don't think it's. I think it's a term that's not defined. I think it's a term that means whatever you want it to mean in the moment because that's how it's used. It's
well,
like
yeah,
toxic male.
Yeah, like toxic
It's a weird
masculinity,
term,
or using and another weird term is misogynist now. People use misogyny for anything.
They don't even know what it means.
They don't. Yeah, like if you
hurt
get
their
in,
feelings.
yeah, exactly.
Misogynist. I'm a woman.
If you get into an argument with a woman, and they call you a misogynist afterwards because I feel like they just probably feel like they lost the argument. Now they're hurt and they want to hurt you. And then after they call you a misogynist, you say right after, or ask right after, more rather, what is a misogynist exactly? They'll just storm off and walk off. They'll get all pissy and it's like...
Or you could act emotionally like them. Misandrist.
Toxic femininity.
Yeah, exactly.
No, shit like that.
Exactly, man. Exactly. That shit would be hilarious.
Yeah.
You're a misandrist.
A misandrist.
Yeah, that's how you gotta say it too.
Is that an actual term?
Yeah, it's
Misandrist? It's
like,
the opposite of misogyny?
Yeah, it's like a woman.
A misandrist? A misandry? Is that what it is? Misandry? That's not. That sounds fake.
No, I think it's misandrist.
But misogyny, misogynist. You get what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know how it is conjugated. Yeah, misandrist.
Misandrist.
Just that. No misogyny. That's fucking stupid. Okay. We need to coin the term misogyny now.
Misogyny.
Yeah, because misogynist.
No, I get it, man.
Yeah, misogyny.
It sounds so dumb.
It sounds really dumb.
That's pretty great.
Yeah, we need to fucking coin that now. That's a thing that must happen.
That's the new term for all you woke people. There you go. I mean, you're not gonna use it though because only men can do bad things.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the way it works. Men are evil. Women are
Shit.
women are sugar, spice, and everything nice, and men
Yeah.
are evil.
Yeah. There's so many contradictory things that you can't really call out now because of political correctness, and even if you did to a certain individual, they're just going to call you the same thing over and over again because they will just not accept what you say. It's selective hearing. I mean, it's
Yeah, 100%.
It's just selective hearing.
It's interesting how people can conscious because it has to be conscious to some degree.
To some degree,
Yeah, it's mostly so. It starts as being conscious, but then after a while, it becomes unconscious because you've done it so many times that you can't even smell your own bullshit. That's the way any lie happens.
Yeah,
that's how it works. But
that's true. And I mean, with like taking a response that they don't like and using a term that they will call you. That is supposed to make you stop and feel threatened, even if they don't necessarily know what that term means. There's a certain level of like getting that response that the person that just offended that person that's going to call them that specific term, getting it and receiving it, and consciously thinking about it for like a millisecond, or their brain processing it, and their brain is like, this is something I don't like. Throws it out of their fucking head, and then just the first word that pops in their head is misogynist. Misogynist. You know,
yeah,
some term, some blanket term. You know, some fucking stupid term that they just want to call them. They don't actually consider the words they're saying. It's just the sequence of words I don't like.
Yeah.
Together.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So.
Well, okay, relating to that, I think it's kind of funny how when somebody on the opposite side does the same thing because they notice the tactic.
Yeah.
So, for example, Sneako's is the perfect example of this. He notices the tactic of these people, so he just throws the same thing at them, except with the opposite ideology. That's exactly what Sneako does. And they get so mad, they don't know how to respond. And he's just a little more logical. He goes a little past level 1. He can go to like level 4 maybe.
Yeah.
And so he always wins against these people because they're just so delusional.
And that's
it's hilarious.
Inevitably, with growing my channel, and I know my channel is going to grow because that's a mindset I have, and if I keep continuing to challenge my mind to think of new things and to try to comprehend these things and then tell other people, obviously I'm going to get big. That's not even an option not to, in my opinion.
Oh yeah,
I will become
I
will become suicidal if I just work a normal job. Honestly, I feel like that. But if I become an electrician, maybe not. We'll see. But
there's still other ways to get out of.
100%. I just had to become creative. But anyway, I'll probably respond to certain people like that, just the same way.
What do you mean?
Like how Sneako responds to those kind of people.
Like that's kind of what this is the
that's
song.
What I'm gonna do. If I don't feel like it's worth trying to explain or argue, because I feel like in the woke community there is maybe the 0.5% of them, there's a very minuscule amount that actually will be slightly open to having a conversation about a certain thing that really pisses them off about you. Slightly open. Then I will be. I'll think, it's slightly worth me entertaining this. Yeah. But if I just think there's no entertaining it at all, I'm just gonna make it mad.
100%.
I'm just gonna make it mad.
It's such a good tactic, and that's how you control them and just so easily win an argument. It's the same thing Andrew Tate did.
Yeah, that's literally
what he did. And he literally gave the sauce too. Yeah. But he literally gave the sauce too. He's just like, I'll say something that they know is true, but say it in a way that they can't possibly agree with. Such a fucking good tactic. That's the beauty of language. That's awesome.
It's the beauty of language. One of the beauties. One of the beauties.
And really, like, I think that's how I'm gonna start doing streams. Is try to start doing that, because that's how you get people to pay attention. Is to get them emotional in some way.
Yeah,
and so if you can get them pissed off, then you have people hate watching, and then the other half will be like, "He's right. He makes sense."
Nick Fuentes does that. Oh, we probably shouldn't talk about him.
Yeah, I mean probably not, but he does do that.
He does that. Yeah, 100%.
It was awesome. Yeah. That was so good, man. It was so good. But do you want to end it here?
How long has it been?
Like over an hour, and we could stream after.
Okay. Yeah, I'm done.
All right, guys, it's going to be the end of this podcast. It's been a good one.
Yep. I hope you all have a good night. Please comment down below, like, and subscribe. And we'll have our channels down below, too. And peace.
Bye-bye.